Yes, guys, what's going on? It's Jahari again. Welcome back to the channel. And today we are going to be getting into some great stuff. We're going to be talking about how I have found my perfect niche that aligns with who I am, what I love, what the market wants, and just generally who I want to serve. How it uniquely refers to my character and my interests. So I can't wait to get into it. And without no further ado, let's get straight into it. Yes, guys. So, how I find my perfect niche as a complete beginner. So, why am I making this video? Honestly, I'm currently taking Max Perzon's course and I'm learning how to build a coaching program based on what I know and based on my passions and my hobbies and my experiences and my stories, right? And how I can use that into turn that into a course on Skool through using YouTube as a documentation platform. So I will insert the link below in the video if you guys want to also check that out. It's a great course. I highly recommend it. So yeah, let's get straight into the video. So I literally just completed an update. I literally just completed the niche alchemy lesson. So the reason why I actually wanted to document this video is I just wanted to explain what I learned and how generally my thinking has changed and how I'm personally applying it as a beginner. But just remember, this is not just me teaching, this is just me learning, speaking out loud from the top of my head. So I can also follow along. And so, cut. But just remember that this is not me teaching from the top. This is just me learning out loud so others can follow along. So here's what I learned about taking the niche alchemy lesson, right? And completing the first part of my worksheet. So I did this so I could find my perfect niche that generally just aligned with who I am, what I wanted to do, who I wanted to serve in the most impactful way, and just generally what I'm super passionate about. And there were so many roadblocks before I got to this stage, right? And there was massive problems, right? And literally, I struggled with this for months. I struggled so much with just being so overwhelmed in choosing a niche, right? I genuinely thought I needed to have the perfect idea, have a unique angle, to do it, and just I needed so much clarity before starting. I had to know everything, right? And this really set me back, right? And this then caused overthinking, watching way too many mentors and courses at the same time. My head was getting super clouded, basically, and it just led me to not taking action and generally feeling like I wasn't ready at all. So yeah, my key realization through this whole process generally was the more information that I consumed, the more confused I became, right? And when you consume so much information and you don't take action, it's like there's no release and you have to do it in a structured format. But when you just consume so much information, you get overwhelmed and it's where do I begin? So what changed everything was I'd learn and I quickly implement what I learn. So then it's it's done, it's out there. I can just move on to the next step. I don't have to overthink by going further forward only to just leave myself coming further backwards because when I was further forward, I would then judge and misguide myself oh, maybe this could have been better and whatever. So, you know, that wasn't good. So I've learnt from that. And this is really the reason why sometimes you just have to choose the best out of a bad idea, the best out of a bad niche, and then just iterate as time goes on. It took me a year. You know what? It really did. It took me a year to just learn that. So that changed everything for me. So the core foundation that I learned, right, was product market fit, or also known as PMF. Business is just simply trade. You exchange value for money, right? And if people don't want what you're offering, then nothing works. So the biggest takeaway for me from this one is you don't start with a solution, you start with a demand. Through finding the demand, then you can see if it aligns with your skills and your passions, and then you can create a solution for that problem that you want to be solved, right? Or that the market wants to be solved. So this is how I'm learning in the correct order, and this is how I'm implementing in the correct order is the market. Number one, the market. Who do I want to work with? You know, who do I want to work with? Like, what am I interested in? Two, what problem do they actually want help with? And three, the want. What are they actively trying to solve? And for the solution, only then you build a solution. So my mistake at the beginning that I was making, and maybe you guys were as well, is I wanted to try and create a solution first and then try and convince people that they needed it when they just don't, because it was just completely wrong. Which leads me to what the market wants versus what the market needs, right? And this is generally why, most ideas fail, most going into certain niches fail, and, market research and just putting out an offer out there for the market. And this is what fails. So the key lesson is people don't buy what they want, they buy what they need. That's not true, actually. I need to pause that. No, that's not true. Oh, sorry. Okay. We'll go back to that. So the key lesson that I learned is people buy what they want, not what they need, right? People need to eat healthier, but people want to eat chocolate, right? So the business rule that I learned is sell the want and deliver the need inside the product. So you kill two birds with one stone, right? Without a verified want, your business will struggle, period. And so you need to copy what works, right? And for me, this removes so much pressure, like from a mindset point of view, especially. Like, you don't need a unique idea, you just need a clear one. And so I was thinking, like, everything had to be unique, um, and I had to get clarity on top of that. But it's just, that's not it, right? And so what I realized is, like I was saying before, you know, pick the best out of a bad idea and iterate as time goes on. You only get clarity through action, not through learning. When you get when you actually put into action what you learn, then steps make sense. Then you know what the feedback from the feedback, you know what you need to work on, right? So clarity comes from action, not just learning. So yeah. So here's what successful companies do, right? Like Apple, Skool, and loads of other major brands, right? They don't try to be first, they try to be best. This is Steve Jobs actually said this. No. Tim Cook from Apple said this. And that's their whole product model, right? You don't have to try and invent something new. You find something that's working and you make it better. So what does this mean for beginners, right? If someone is already winning, they've proven that a demand exists. So then for me personally, like, this actually got me thinking, like, I really took a liking to Iman Gadzhi's approach, then Alex Hormozy, and now Max Perzon. Like, they all have something in common. And I just wanted to find a unique way just to do it on myself in my own little way, where I see such a big lack in a high demanding market that I'm actually genuinely passionate about. But first, before I get there, I'll explain how I got there by the Ikigai. So the Ikigai is this thing that I learned in the course from Max, where it has this framework and it helps you find your perfect overlap between what you genuinely love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what people actually pay for. So, what stood out to me personally when I was doing this research is generally I love business. Like I've always had a passion for it since I was young, and YouTube. I love YouTube because it's like a great platform to learn, and then it's also a great platform to document. And like loads of people use YouTube in different ways. Like it could be for entertainment. For me personally, I like it for educational purposes. Um, and then on top of that, I love meaningful conversations. Like I love getting to know people, like who they are, and what they're struggling with, just generally, and what makes them tick, what's their passions. This is all my cup of tea. And I was thinking, how can I blend that all into one, right? And then what I realized is people naturally come to me for either business clarity. I've had people like in person in my old job saying like they're starting this new thing, and they were like, oh, but how can I get this out there, or bunch of stuff. And I just give them my feedback from my personal experience, what I've tried in the past, because I used to run a marketing agency. So from a marketing point of view, they'd ask me all sorts of stuff. On top of that, then there'd be confidence. When I was working my old job, I was so confident with just talking to people. Like, I don't know if, like, it's just been a skill that I've always adopted, I guess. But like the way that I feel like I can talk to people in person, it's I just find it easy to the point where I can generally just have a deep connection straight away, and I can talk about anything and everything, right? And it helped me build a lot of rapport and build a lot of business relationships, right? Which inevitably made me even better at my job, gave me a massive advantage over sales. Um, and yeah, I used to sell a lot, but um, yeah, it was great fun. Anyway, before I go on a rant, another thing that really stood out to me was life and just cut that out. Another thing that also really stood out to me was just generally like life and relationship advice. So people would always come to me as well for like just life advice, whether that's mindset stuff or relationship stuff, or like just problems, like just everyday problems. And I don't know why they came to me, but they did. And for some reason my advice just helped them out, and they trusted me. So yeah. And then based on my unique advantages through this, right, I realized that I have high in-person communication skills, like high interpersonal communication skills. People generally just seem to trust me, and their guard comes down and they just come as they are. And then another thing I realize is I know how to sell without pressure. Yeah, I hit £1 million in my old company in sales within the first year and a little bit. And it was like a really, really stressful job. I'm not even going to lie to you. It was a really stressful job, and you had to deal with all sorts of people. But that's a story for another day. So, on a whole, my big realization is my advantage isn't tactics, it's generally just clarity and connection. So then my audience became absolutely obvious to me, right? When I looked at everything together, one group stood out clearly. Now, these are people that I know they possess hidden talents and gifts, but they just don't know how to use them or even monetize them. So my audience generally are beginners with no experience, right? Who are overwhelmed but very ambitious to just start something, create something new that they're passionate about, right? But they're really scared to start, okay? And they're afraid to be judged online. And so what they do is they consume a lot of content but just never take action. And this is literally me as a person. This is who I was. And sometimes the best niche is your story. So these were all things part of my story. And some of them I struggle with now, like I'm not going to lie to you, but I am really overcoming it. And I know for a fact that when I go into 2026, it's going to be different. Like I'm just learning through taking action, and I'm proving a lot to myself. And so I hope this can be great inspo for you guys as well. So what they want is they want clarity. They want clarity on knowing that what they are doing is right and it's right for them, and they know exactly how to do it. They want the confidence as well to just go through with what they want to do. Like they want to put themselves out there. They want to uniquely come alive online, right? Just by being their authentic self. Okay. But they want a simple step-by-step path to get there. Literally from zero, like no knowledge, no experience, even no income, right? They want a simple path from this to this, and this is their first paying client, right? How can they use their skills and their knowledge and their passions and their stories, right? How can they use that knowledge from zero to then get their first paying client, turn that into a coaching program? And so for me, even, and I know for so many of you guys that even above money, there is a higher purpose of fulfillment. Like you genuinely care what you do and you love what you do. So that led me to really, here's my niche statement. Now, this is a bit basic, right? I'm not going to lie to you, but it will get better over time. So I help beginners turn their knowledge into high paying coaching clients by building just a simple offer, launching a school community, and documenting their journey on YouTube, right? Now, over time, this will evolve around feedback through maybe like coaching calls and having clients, and just generally just experience on taking action, right? But this version one is better than perfect because it's better than nothing, right? So I'm putting it out there as a statement now that this is what I'm doing, okay? But like I said, follow me on my journey, can iterate over time. So why I'm confident that this makes sense, right? People are already paying for business coaching, right? They're paying to help get their content monetized, right? Because people make a lot of content, but they don't know how to make money off it. And YouTube AdSense is just not going to do it, right? People also pay for just getting clarity and accountability, like somebody to literally hold them by their hands and just walk through the journey step by step, navigating their way online in such a saturated, complicated space. Okay. And then how to stand out just by being themselves, right? Not by copying, influencers and gurus. Like, no. Yeah, you can copy the process, okay, in your own unique way, but actually just to be yourself, that's another thing, right? And I think so many people struggle with this online, and there's a problem online where it's not so authentic anymore, and so you can't tell what's real and what's fake. So it's a big thing. People actually pay for this, right? So my version literally focuses on simplicity, like how to make it simple and not confusing and not complicated, like super simple, right? Alignment. Does this, like, is this part of you? Like, is your heart in this or is it not? Okay, because if your heart's in this, you know it's for you, right? This also focuses on building relationships. Like, so for me personally, I live off the quote that Ray Dalio said of meaningful work and meaningful relationships. Like, this is just me in a nutshell, right? So I thrive off this. So my version is going to be built off having such a strong community of people that they're in it together, right? And it's more than just business. Like, it's like personal relationships, right? And through doing life together in business, through personal relationships, through building business relationships and personal relationships. My version also focuses on peace over pressure, right? So I'm a Christian, and I know that building something with pressure is not the one, because now I'm out of alignment with why I'm doing what I'm doing and who I am, right? And so we have a saying that the enemy drives and Jesus leads. So, yeah, um, when you're driven by something that's not the foundation and what you really created it for, it can lead to all sorts of places that you just don't feel fulfilled, right? So peace over pressure all day long. So the key belief that I adopted is I don't need to be an expert. I just need to be one step ahead. So what I'm doing now, and this is my accountability statement to me to show you guys what I'm going to be doing, is over the next 7 to 14 days, I'm going to finalize the market research worksheet. I'm going to complete the customer avatar worksheet. So exactly who am I speaking to? And then I'm going to complete the messaging worksheet that helps them, like, I'm going to put my message out there that converts. Okay, cut. I need to complete the messaging that converts worksheet. And then I need to create an offer for my coaching program and continue to document everything else publicly as I'm doing right now, and continue to build a free school course as a lead magnet for you guys. So this is like a freebie for you. I'm just going to put everything I learned into a free course, and you guys can implement it and run off with it as you like. I'm also going to start validating this through conversations and one-on-one coaching. So, if you guys want access to that, join my Skool community. Again, link will be below. And so, my closing thought, my biggest takeaway: if you're stuck on your niche, you're stuck researching in a niche that you think fits, you don't need more ideas. You just need clarity and action. So, do the work, work the plan. I don't even know. just just rambling on at this point. But I'm going to keep documenting this journey honestly and imperfectly, and probably just a bit messy, but I put my heart, my soul, my mind into this, so I know it will flourish over time. And so, yeah, it will get better. So, my final invitation to you guys is, if you want to learn more about this, please join my free school community. It's called Kingdom Coaching, right? Like I said, it's free. You just have to fill in a couple things, at this point. Two things. There's like two questions on there you fill out, and then boom, you've got free access. And then you get to access my full free document, my exact step by step how I found my perfect niche using the niche research worksheet, right? This is the niche research worksheet, and I'm going to literally run it through step by step exactly how I found this and how I found the overlap. So if you want direct access to that, yes, guys, just again, join my Skool community and I'll put it there. You also get a direct access to me one to one. It could be through call or DM. So if you guys have any questions, you have that as well. So yeah. Anyway, okay, let's start here. Pause. Right. Cut that out. Okay. So my final invitation to you guys is, come along, follow me in my journey, and join Kingdom Coaching. Right? You know what? Bugger that. Yeah, bugger that, bugger that, bugger that. Alright. I am going to finish recording here. So, my invitation to you guys, right? Come along, follow me in my journey, join my free school community called Kingdom Coaching, right? join me and get access to the full free document of my exact step-by-step stages of how I found my perfect niche, right? Using the niche research worksheet. So if you guys want if you want the document to that, then yeah, it will be in my Skool community in the free course section. And then on top of that, you guys will also get direct access to me, right? That can be through DMs if you've got any questions, or if you want like a one-on-one call, join it. Apart from that, please guys, like the video, subscribe if this channel or this content you find it interesting. And honestly, I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Like, I'm super pumped about this journey, and I've learned so much so far. You know, just taking action like really slowly and really steadily. Yes, the uploads haven't been consistent, but I'm just genuinely really enjoying what I do. And so, like, I can finally follow my dreams of what I'm passionate about. And this is like the nitty gritty step of like, it was the make or break situation of my entire foundation for the business. So yeah, it's just such an amazing feeling, and I hope you guys can also do something like that as well. So my whole reflection on this really was understanding just your passions, like literally take note of what they are, and find a way to implement that in a market that you care about, right? Where there's demand, and so you can actually create like a freedom project out of it, and you can impact so many lives. So yeah, it was definitely the most fun thing that I've, part of the course that I've learned. Everything has been very theory, okay, and yeah, it has been. Uh, some of it's like a little bit boring, but it's very useful to know. So this stage was like the fun step where it's like you get to create. I'm at the creation point, which is why I skipped to module 2, because yeah, I just wanted to start creating. So I knew how to implement the correct foundations, right? So there was no overwhelm, because I didn't want to start the module 1, which was all about setting up and blah blah blah. Like, I don't even have enough money to afford the softwares and stuff. So I just thought, no, I'm just going to get straight into this. So then I know what to put into those softwares. I might be doing it wrong, but anyway. And just as a short note, your feedback is super important. Like, please guys, let me know how I got on with this video. If there's anything that I could improve on, or any sort of content that you want to see specifically, or anything you're struggling with, like, just put it in the comments, guys, honestly. Or like I said, join my free Skool community so you can have one-to-one access to me and we can have a chat through there. But yeah, anyway, I'll close it at that. And yeah, I'm buzzing to get started on my journey, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Peace. In a bit.